chance of something blowing out. One thing we don't need is any blowouts on our finished product. Okay, you can see we've done our first passes going with the router itself. Now this is going to be our last pass, and we're going to go all the way around it this time. Against the router. Okay, you can see we've got the milled edge all the way around. Well, of course, forget about that little hole. All the way down this way, all the way around this way. Alright? Of course, don't look at my sanding either. This is not a soled window. Okay, now you see the milled edge, and then you see where the glass goes. Glass goes in here. This is your milled edge right there, your finished edge. Looks real nice. Now it's just a matter of putting the glass in and glazing. Your other casement window, you do the same thing. You just get your router and go around it exactly the same way. And then on your last pass, you want to go against the push of the router. Okay, before we glaze this window, one thing you need to do one or two things. You either need to soak the window down with linseed oil, or you need to prime it real good, because one thing you do not want water getting in those cracks. In other words, water to get up in here and get down inside that crack and run down in between these two pieces. That'll cause it to rot out. If you soak it down with linseed oil, that'll sure stop that. Instead of getting 1 year out of the window, you'll get about 15 years out of it. And plus, you've got to keep it maintained. If you see the crack open up, you need to put some linseed oil in there and then prime it on top of that when it dries. Okay, we're going to do some glazing. Okay, you can see we have our glass in there, and what I would do normally, before I set that glass in there, I would run a bead of caulking around it first. Then I take my glass and I set it in place. Things have changed since these windows were first built. When they were setting glazing compound in first, and they put in the glass in there on top of that. Then they put the points that go on top of the glass. And being that people don't normally close these windows anymore, there's not much chance of it. But every time I pull a piece of glass out to replace it, it's always broke at where the point is set. Other than baseballs, rocks, stuff like that from lawnmowers. But every one of them I pull out, it's always right where a point is. But if you set it in a bed of caulking, the stuff sets up in about an hour. Then you come back and you glaze it. What we're going to do now is we're going to glaze this. Alright, now with you mixing up this glazing when it first comes out of the can, you're going to feel it's going to have areas that's kind of hard and the others are going to kind of gooey. Mix it up. Make sure you don't get painter's putty. There's a difference. Painter's putty's got a lot more linseed oil in it than glazing does. It's the same thing. Everybody has their own way of glazing. This is my way of glazing. It's kind of messy, but it gets the job done. Is you take the palm of you get a roll of it in the palm of your hands. Where the glazing rail is, you squash it in there like that. In other words, here's your glazing rail by the other hand. You squash it in there like that. Alright, I'm going to get a rail and show you. We have the rail. Glass is sitting in there. Take it and you squash it in there like that. Alright, I'm going to show you on this palm of your hand. You squash it in there. Squash it in there. Squash it in there. Squash it in there. All the way across. Now the next thing you can do is you can lay a bed of it in there, take your fingers, come back across, and pull it and squish it in there. However you want to do it is okay with me. Come around the corner. You want to do all you want to try to do all three sides before you start running the putty knife. Do it all the way around. The good thing about a good putty knife is it needs to be clean and no scratch marks like you've been cleaning it up on a piece of sandpaper or something. That won't work. You want a real good putty knife. Come along this edge, and what you do is, if you can see this, your knife goes there, and then the edge of your knife, and you have to pretty much get as close a guess as you possibly can. The glazing compound should not come past the inside. In other words, okay, now this is just a rule of thumb. Your putty knife, of course, goes here, but the edge of it should line up with the inside of the glazing rail. So in other words, as you're running down, you should be like that. And then it seems like where people have the most trouble is in the corners. And I am using the worst tool imaginable for glazing. I'm using a chisel just to show you that if you had something, the right tool, it would sure be a lot easier. But as you're coming down to this corner, you come all the way down, you stop, and you pull directly out toward the corner. Okay, let's do that again. You're coming down, come all the way down to the edge, come to the corner and pull right straight out. Okay? Alright, hopefully you can see all this. I'm going to pull this back. You can see you've got your corner made. You come right in on top of where you stopped and you set your knife, and then you do the same thing the other way. Alright, we're going to do this again. Come down to this edge, come to that part, pull right straight out, like that. Come in the other way, right on top of it, line up with the inside of your glazing rail, and pull it. And then after you're all done, then you just kind of get, if you get some water on your fingers or something, smooth it out. Linseed oil is best. Water will evaporate though in just a couple of minutes, especially, I'm sure you're doing this in the heat of the summer. And then you're done. After that's on there, let it dry for a couple of days before you prime glazing. Especially do not do it with latex right away because it'll crack. Because this is oil and latex water base. They don't like each other at all. And you're finished. Alright, well this pretty much ends what we talked about on building casement windows. Double hung windows. We've done them both. You should have enough woodworking capabilities to do these if you're really interested in doing a project like this. Now, I'm not going to say that you can sell these to the general public, but I mean, that's up to you. People are, you know, in need of them, and you could run your little ad in the paper or whatever and probably sell a few. We do hundreds of these a year. The only way we do them though is we like to install them because that cuts down on somebody cutting a window too small and then coming back and you having to build them another one. Everybody feels bad then. Well, I just want to wish you good luck, and I hope you really do enjoy this new video. I can't get used to video, DVD, I don't know what they are nowadays. But good luck on them. Always safety. I had to go have something taken out of my eye the other day. It's a piece of sawdust, I couldn't get it. Cost me $56. So it just goes to show you, you know, I was even wearing my safety glasses. It's just something that just fell out of the ceiling when we were beating on a house. So you just never know when it's going to happen. But, well, good luck, and I hope to hear from you.